Okay, student, this is periodic table part 2. Now, in this part, we'll study about the modern periodic table. Now, in the part 1, we have already ended upon modern periodic law that was proposed by Moseley, if you remember. And he stated that the physical and chemical properties of an elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number. That means in this modern periodic table, all the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic number. So if you can see, so hydrogen is the first element, its atomic number is 1, then it is helium, its atomic number is 2, then it is lithium, it is 3, then it is beryllium, it is 4, and so on. So this is 5, carbon is 6, nitrogen is 7, oxygen is 8, fluorine is 9, neon is 10. Similarly, sodium is 11, magnesium is 12, aluminum is 13, silicon is 14, phosphorus is 15, sulfur is 16, chlorine is 17, argon is 18, potassium is 19, calcium is 20, and so on. Okay. Now in our syllabus, now first of all, before this I tell you, you just be ready with your periodic table from the textbook. Just open that periodic table part and then you go through this video and refer that periodic table. So this one I am talking about. So this periodic table you take out and then keep in front of it, and then you watch this video, then you can understand it properly. Okay, I've tried to make the diagram, okay, but still you should keep your textbook in front of you with the periodic table in front of you. So understand. Now in our ICC syllabus, they only ask you about period 1, period 2, and period 3. Okay, so no question will be asked from period 4 to 7. So that means from this part, no questions will be asked. Only the questions will be asked related with period 1, 2, and 3. So therefore, you should all learn all the elements of period 1, period 2, and period 3. Okay, I'll tell you later about all this. Now, in this modern periodic table, these vertical columns in the periodic table are called groups. So this, you see the vertical columns, these are the vertical columns, these are called groups. Okay, so these are the groups, and in fact there are 18 vertical columns, okay. So the modern periodic table has actually 18 vertical columns comprising of 18 groups. So there are 18 groups in new notation. So in new notation we say there are 18 groups. You see, 1, this is group 2, this is group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7, group 8, group 9, group 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and group 18. Okay, so this is new notation. But traditionally, there were group 1 to 8 and a 0 group, and this group 1 to 8 is subdivided into group A and B. So if you see, if this in the traditional way, there used to have 8 groups, group 1 to group 8, and there is a group of 0 group, and this group 1 to 7, they are divided into group A and group B. If you see this in tradition, this is 1A, group 1A, this is group 2A, and then this is group 3B, then group 4B, group 5B, group 6B, group 7B, and this three column, they totally they are group 8. Okay, so this 3 column, they are group 8. Then you have again group 1B, then you have group 2B, you have 3A, you have group 4A, you have group 5A, you have group 6A, you have group 8, group 7A, and this is 0 group. Okay, so this is about the groups. Now in old notation, and now both old notation or new notation is acceptable. Now generally they ask you about groups and periods of a certain elements. Now for that, now just remember the number of electrons in the last shell gives the group number. That is, we will get that old notation group number. Okay. Now, as I have told you, in exam both old notation or new notation is acceptable. Now, for initial stage, for students to understand, it is always advisable to do the old notation. Okay, old notation is easier to understand. So we'll do old notation. So the number of electrons in the last shell gives the group number, and the number of shells gives the period number. So the number of electrons in the last shell gives us the group number, and the number of shells gives us the period number. Say for example, you see sodium, its atomic number is 11, you know. Potassium atomic number is 19. Calcium, it is 20. Oxygen, it is 8. Okay, oxygen, it is 8. Then neon, it is 10. Now let us find their group number and period number. Now if you get the electronic configuration of sodium, you have 2, 8 and 1. For potassium, it will be 2, 8, 8 and 1. For calcium, it is 2, 8, 8 and 2. For oxygen, it is 2 and 6. And for neon, it is 2 and 8. Okay. Now, what I told, the number of electrons in the last shell gives the group number. Now, if you see the number of electron in the last shell is 1, so its group is 1A. Now, how we understand why A or not? Now, as I told you, in your syllabus there is only period 1, period 2 and period 3. So, if you see this, all these period 1, 2 and 3 elements, they belongs to A group. So, this is 1A, this is 2A. Only this middle part, these are called the transition element part, these are all B group. So since in your exam only period 1, period 2, period 3 will come, so naturally there will be no group B in your syllabus. So always you just write group A. So it will be 1A. So if you see, this is 1A, this is 2A, right? This is 3A, this group. This is 4A, this is 5A, 6A and 7A, and this is 0 group. Inert gas, our last shell, outermost shell is 8, that means it is inert gas. Inert gas belongs to 0 group. So as I told you, last shell 1 electron means group 1, and it will be group 1A. Last shell here also, if you see, sodium is in group 1A. So if you see sodium, it is in group 1A. And the period will be how much? Period will be third period, because number of shell is 3. So the period number will be 3. Now if you see sodium, it is period 3 and group 1. So this is sodium. Similarly, if you see potassium group, again last shell you have 1 electron, so it will be group 1A, and period will be 4, fourth period, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you see period 4 and group 1A, it is potassium here. Now calcium, again calcium last shell 2 electron, so it is group 2, group 2A, and period will be what? Period will be fourth period. So again you see calcium fourth period and group 2A, so group 2A fourth period, that is calcium. Oxygen it is 6, so group, the oxygen will be group again 6A. Okay, 6A, and period will be what? 2. So again period 2. So if you see oxygen period 2, and this is group 6A. So group 6A, period 2, and at last if you see again neon you have group 0. So when last shell 8 you have, that is inert gas, so that belongs to group 0, and period will be what? Period will be period 2. So period 2 and group 0 is in neon. So understand? So this is how we get the groups and period. So the number of electron in the last shell gives the group number in old notation, and the number of shells gives the period number. Okay, now let us see how we get the new notation from the old notation. Now in new notation, you can see new notation, all the groups are numbered directly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 18. So there are 18 columns, 18 vertical columns, and there are 18 groups in the new notation. So in the new notation, this is group, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this is new notation group. Now in old notation you start with 1A. So this 1 means 1A. Next 2 it will be 2A. So you start with 1A, 2A, but then it will not be 3A. After 1A, start with 1A, then it will be 2A. So 1A, 2A, and then it will be 3B. So all will be now B. 3B, then you have 4B, then you have 5B, then you have 6B, then you have 7B. Okay, you see 1A, 2A, then 3B, then 4B, then 5B, then 6B, then 7B. Now group 8 does not have any A and B, it is 8, and it consists of 3 groups of modern 8, 9, 10. So this group 8, 9, 10 all belongs to group 8 of the old notation. So up to 8 it is finished. Now again start from 1. Now when we start from 1, 1A we have done, 2A we have done, then we have 3B. So after 8, when we start again from 1, now I will write here 1B, because 1A is already there, then 1B, and then 2B. So after 1B and 2B, now all 3A, 4A, 5A will start, because already 3B, 4B, 5B was here. So after 2B, now it will be 3A, then it will be 4A, then it will be 5A, then it will be 6A, then it will be 7A, and at last will be 0. So as I told you, you see, now check out. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So see in the group, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So this is the new group. And in old notation we say 1A, 2A. Now after 1A and 2A, then what we get? 3B, then 4B, then 5B, then 6B, then 7B, and then 8, consisting of 3 groups. And after 8, what we have? Again 1B, then 2B, and after 2B, then again 3A, then 4A, then 5A, then 6A, then 7A, and then at last 0 group. Understand? So this is how we get the groups and the period number. Okay, so now we will see some salient features of these group members. Now as I have told you, first of all, there are modern periodic table, there are 18 vertical columns. These 18 vertical columns comprising of 18 groups in new notation, and in old notation there are group 1 to 8, there are group 1 to 8 and 0 group, and this group 1 to 7 is in fact subdivided into A and B. Now elements of subgroup A. Now elements of subgroup A, that means this 1A, this 2A, now this is 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A. So elements of subgroup A are known as main group elements. So this elements are known as the main group elements or representative element or normal element. So these are known as all the group members of A. So 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, all these members, these are known as the main group elements or representative elements or the normal elements. These elements have their outermost shell incomplete as normal. That means all these elements, the main group elements, have single valency. They have only one valency. Okay, so they don't have variable valency. Now elements of the subgroup B, that's from 3B to this. If you see, subgroup means this part. So this part, okay, this depressed part of the periodic table, this depressed part, okay, so this depressed part, these are called the transition elements. So these are this depressed part are known as the transition elements, and these have their two outermost shell incomplete. Okay, that means they have variable valency. So you can simply say that all these elements which are present here, in this B part, they have variable valencies, and those elements in this group A, these are the main group elements, these are the main elements, the main group elements or the representative elements. Okay, so main group elements or the representative elements. Okay, understand? Now, elements in the zero group are called inert gas. So you understand, we have group A, we have group B, and we have group 0. So group A are known as the main group elements. They have single valency. Group B, they are the transition elements. So this part, they are the transition elements. They have variable valency. That means they have more than one valency. And this zero group are, these are, you see, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, all these are inert gas. So these are inert gas elements, and they have, naturally, inert gas, they have their last shell complete. So that means they are stable. Okay, so these are about the salient features of the groups. Now the salient features of the periods. Now there are 7 horizontal rows in the modern periodic table. There are 7 horizontal rows in the modern periodic table. You see, this is the first row, the second row, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. So there are 7 horizontal rows in the modern periodic table, and they are called periods. Now the first period, that is period 1. The period 1, they have only 2 elements, hydrogen and helium. So hydrogen here and helium here. So hydrogen and helium, and these are this period 1. This period 1 is in fact the shortest period. So this is the shortest period. Then the second and the third period. The second period and the third period, you have 8 elements each. 8 elements each. So if you see the second period and the third period, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Period 3 also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So period 2 and period 3. So period 2 and period 3, they are the shortest period. They are short period. So the number 1, period 1 is the shortest period, period 2 and 3 are the short periods. So we can say that period 1, how many elements it has? 2 elements. Period 2, so period 1 you have 2 elements. Period 2 and period 3, period 2 and period 3 you have 8 elements each. Then so, and these are this is the shortest period, these are the short periods, period 2 and period 3. Then period 4 and period 5, there are 18 elements each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And in period 5 also there are 18 elements each. So period 4 and period 5, you have 18 elements each, and these are called the long periods. So these are called the long periods, period 4 and period 5. Okay, so these are the long periods. And then period 6 and period 7, period 6 and period 7. So period 6 and period 7, they have 32 elements each. They have 32 elements each. Okay, although period 7 is incomplete, still we can continue period 7 with the discovery of new elements. So you can say period 7, although it has 32 elements, but we can increase the number of elements in period 7. So period 7, you can say it's an incomplete period, but at present it has 32 elements each. And these are the very long periods. So period 6 and period 7, they are the very long periods. Okay, so understood. Period 1 consists of 2 elements each. Period 2 and 3 consist of 8 elements period each. Period 4 and period 5 consist of 18 elements called long periods, and period 6 and period 7 have 32 elements each. Okay, so if you remember these numbers 2, 8, 18 and 32, so you can remember this number easily, because these are the maximum capacity of, this is the maximum capacity of K cell, this is the maximum capacity of L cell, this is the maximum capacity of M cell, this is the maximum capacity of N cell in the electronic configuration. I hope you have done all this 2, 8, 18 and 32, so you can remember this number easily. Only period 1 have 2 elements, and then you have 2, 3, 8 elements, 4, 5, 18 elements, 6, 7, 32 elements. Okay, so these are about the periods. Now in the periodic table, in group 3b, okay, in group 3b, this one. So if you go through group 3b and period 6, this part, you see in every of the box only one elements are there. 11, this is 12, this is 13, this is 14, this is 15 atomic number, this is 16 atomic number, 17 atomic number. But if you see in period 3b, in group 3b and period 6, you have all the elements from 57 to 71, atomic number 57 to 71 in the same slot, and then starting from lanthanum, okay. So if you see from the atomic number 57 to 71, okay, so starting from lanthanum and to lutetium, so La to Lu, they are in the same slot. Now these are called lanthanides series. And these lanthanides, they have similar properties. All these elements, lanthanides, they are actually the rare earth element, and all the elements from 57 to 71, they have same property, they have similar property. So hence, they can't be kept in different slots, otherwise their properties will be different, because everybody from 57 to 71, all these elements, all the elements that is there, their property matches with group 3b. Their properties matches with group 3b. Now since their properties matches with group 3b, they have to be, all these elements have to be kept inside the group 3b. And therefore, you see that in period 6 in group 3b, in this same slot, they have given 57 to 71. Because all the elements from 57 to 71, their properties matches with group 3b, and these elements are called lanthanides, and they are rare earth elements. Means rarely you get these elements, and they have similar properties. Now since all these elements cannot be written on the same small slot, so therefore they have given, they have written in a separate space. But separate space does not mean that they have a different property. All these elements, they belongs to the same slot. That means they belongs to period 3b, group 3b and period 6, because all these elements properties matches with 57 to 71. Now all these elements cannot be kept in this group, otherwise the shape of the periodic table will become, will be distorted. So they have been written in a separate space, but they belongs to group 6b, group 3b, period 6. Okay. Similarly in period 7 in group 3b, you will find from 89 to 103, from 89 to 103, okay, from actinium to lawrencium, they are also kept in the same slot due to the same reason. Now these are called actinide series. This actinide series, all these are radioactive elements. Okay, so they emit radiations. So these are all actinide series. So from 89 to 103, all these elements are radioactive. Everybody's properties matches with group 3b. So hence they are kept in the same slot in period 7 group 3b. Now since all these elements, similarly as that of lanthanides, all these elements cannot be written in this small space, they have written here 89 to 103. So these are called actinide series. Understand? Now bridge elements. Now what are bridge elements? Elements of second period shows resemblance in the properties with the element of the next group of the third period. That means elements of the second period shows second period. So this is second period, and then it shows a resemblance with the elements of the third period of the next group, and thereby providing a diagonal relationship. Now thereby providing a diagonal relationship. Okay, that means what? Period 2 and period 3 element, they show a resemblance with the elements of the next group. That means lithium, the properties of lithium show similarity with the properties of magnesium. So that means this is the diagonal relationship like this. So period 2 lithium, and then period 3 the next group elements, that means lithium with magnesium. Okay, similarly beryllium with aluminium, so beryllium with aluminium, then boron with silicon, carbon with phosphorus, nitrogen with sulfur, oxygen with chlorine. Okay, not fluorine and argon. So that means there is a diagonal relationship. So their properties shows a resemblance. So that means period 2 and period 3 elements, their properties matches with the next group. So that means period 2 elements and then period 3 the next group elements, they show a resemblance. And these are called bridge elements. That means lithium, the property of lithium matches with magnesium, resemblance. Property of boron matches with silicon. Properties of carbon matches with phosphorus. Properties of nitrogen matches with sulfur, and so on. So these are called bridge elements. Okay, understand? Now the third period, next is the typical elements. Yes, in fact, the third period elements, this is the third period, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. So these third period elements summarize the properties of their respective groups and are called typical elements. So that means you can say these are the leaders. The third period element summarize the property, this third period element summarize the property of their group. So that means the properties of sodium. Now if you know the property of sodium, so naturally they are the leader, you can say. So the property of sodium summarize the property of potassium, lithium, and also their similar properties. So therefore we say the third period elements are, they are typical elements. So they are called the typical elements. They summarize the properties of their respective groups. So I can say group 1A, the property of sodium summarize the property of group 1A. The properties of aluminium summarize the property of group 3A. The property of silicon summarize the property of group 4A. The property of phosphorus summarize the property of group 5A, and so on. Okay. Now, so that is about the modern periodic table. Now in this periodic table also there are some defects. In the modern periodic table. The first thing is that the position of hydrogen. Now hydrogen is still, the position of hydrogen is not satisfactory, because the property of the property of hydrogen matches with group 1A, and the property of hydrogen also matches with group 7A. So still hydrogen, the position of hydrogen is not satisfactory. And the second defect is that it fails to accommodate the inner transition elements, lanthanides and actinides. So you can see here, we have just now seen that this in this modern periodic table it fails to accommodate these elements in the main group. So they cannot accommodate these lanthanides in this main periodic table or actinides in this main periodic table. They have to write separately. Okay, because otherwise the shape of the periodic table would have been distorted, because both the lanthanide series and actinide series, their property matches with group 3B. So therefore, so that is the second defect you can say about this. Okay. Okay, now is the general trends of properties of elements in the modern periodic table. That means how, as we go across the period, how the properties changes, or as we go down the group, how the properties changes. So that is what you have to study. Now the first is metallic character. Now if you know, metallic character means if the number of electrons in the last shell is 1, 2 and 3, then it is a metal. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, it is a non-metal. So by this only you can understand when we go across a period. See, across a period, you see potassium is of group 1A, that means the last shell it is 1, number of electron is 1. So therefore it is group 1A. So that means potassium is a metal. Calcium, the last shell, the electron is 2, therefore it is group 2A, so it is a metal. Then scandium, it is last shell, it is 3. So like this if you go, see in case of sodium, because these are some common elements, sodium is a metal, magnesium is a metal, aluminium is a metal. silicon is a metalloid, phosphorus is a non-metal, sulfur is a non-metal, chlorine is a non-metal, argon is a non-metal. So that means as we go from left to right, what happens? The metallic character increases. The metallic character decreases and the non-metallic character increases. Okay, so the sodium means last shell 1 electron, it is metal. Magnesium means last shell 2 electron because it is group 2, so it is a metal. Aluminium means last shell 3 electrons, so that means that is also a metal. Silicon means last shell 4 electrons, so it is a metalloid, you can say. Then phosphorus, then sulfur, then chlorine. So from left to right as we go, the metallic character decreases. And always remember, generally as we go, whatever the properties across the period, down the group, its property will be opposite. Property down the group opposite. So metallic character, as we go down, the metallic character increases. Because as you go down, the number of shells increases. So you see, period 2 means this has 2 shells, lithium has 2 shells. Period 3 means sodium has 3 shells. Period 4 means potassium has 4 shells. And more the number of shells, more easily the atom can lose electron, because it is farther from the nucleus. And more easily an atom can lose electron, it is a better metal, it is a stronger metal. So as we go from down the group, the metallic character, hence it increases. Similarly, valencies. So the valency in fact increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases up to 0. From 4 to 1 means inert gas, always the valency is 0, but up to inert gas, as we go, the valency first increases from say 1 to 4. So this is valency 1, valency 2, valency 3 and valency 4, and then again valency 4, valency 3, valency 2, valency 1 and valency 0. Okay, so first increases and then, so you see, this is sodium valency is 1, magnesium valency is 2, aluminium valency is 3, silicon valency is 4, and again phosphorus valency is 3, sulfur valency is 2, chlorine valency is 1. So that means valency increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases to 1. Okay, so 1 to 4 and then 3 to 1. But as we go down the group, the valency remains same. Because the group means group 1A, everybody have the same number of shell electron in their outermost shell. That means their valency will be same. Like sodium, outermost shell, the number of electron is 1. Potassium also, the outermost shell, the valency is 1. Outermost shell, the number of electron is 1. So the valency of sodium is also 1, potassium also is 1, rubidium is also 1, cesium. So down the group, the valency remains same. So down the group, the valency remains same. Number of shells. Now as we go from left to right, that means you are going along the same period. That means the number of shells will remain same, because period means the number of shells. So those period 1 means though they have 1 shell. Period 2 means everybody has 2 shells. Period 3 means everybody have 3 shells. Period 4 means everybody have 4 shells. So as we go from left to right, the number of shells remains same. The number of shells remains same. And as we go down the group, the number of shell increases by 1. Right? Because the period is changing. Say hydrogen you have 1 shell, lithium you have 2 shell, sodium you have 3 cell, potassium you have 4 cell, rubidium you have 5 cell, and so on. So as we go down the group, the number of shell increases by 1. Increases by 1 at each step. So that means at each step the number of shell increases by 1. Now the nature of oxides next. Now always remember, you should know that metal forms basic oxide and non-metal form acidic oxide. So the oxides of metals are always basic in nature, and the oxides of non-metals are acidic in nature. And as we know, as we go from left to right, the metallic character decreases. And as I have told you, metal form basic oxide. So we can say that as we go from left to right, the basic character of the oxide decreases and the acidic character increases. So nature of oxide, we can say that basic character decreases and acidic character increases. Okay, and naturally as we go down the group it will be opposite, because the metallic character increases. So we can say that the basic character increases, and acidic character decreases. Okay, so basic character increases and acidic character decreases. Now the next is atomic size. Now for atomic size, for our convenience, we will first go to down the group. So because you can easily answer this. Atomic size. So you can understand, as we go down the group, the atomic size increases because the number of shell is increases. You see, hydrogen have 1 shell, lithium has 2 shell, sodium has 3 shell, potassium has 4 cells. So that means the size of the atom is increasing. So simply we can say down the group, the atomic size increases. Now across the period, what happens? Across a period. Now commonly you may think that as we go across the period from left to right, the atomic size will remain same, because you know the number of shell is same. But in fact, although the number of shell remains same, but the atomic size still decreases from left to right. The atomic size still decreases from left to right. It is due to the increase in the nuclear charge, because nuclear charge means the charge of protons. You see, the atomic number is increasing means the number of proton is increasing. So since the number of proton is increasing, it attracts the electrons more towards the nucleus, and therefore the size of the atom decreases. Like you see, sodium have three shells, suppose. So try to understand. So sodium has 3 shells and this is the nucleus. So next it is magnesium. Now that also have 3 shells, but the size is smaller. Then it is aluminium, that also have 3 shells. Its size is smaller. Then silicon, that also have 3 shells. So like this, although the number of shells remains same, but still the atomic size decreases. It is due to the increase in the nuclear charge. You see, this is sodium, suppose. Now sodium atomic number is 11, that means it has 11 proton. This magnesium has 12 proton, aluminium has 13 proton, silicon has 14 proton. So the proton is increasing, so the positive charge is increasing. Now as the positive charge increasing, it attracts the electrons more towards the nucleus, and therefore the atomic size decreases. So it's also a very important question, ki although the number of shells remains same as we go from left to right in a period, but still the atomic size decreases, because why? It is due to the increase in nuclear charge, because the number of proton increases as we go from left to right. The positive charge of the nucleus increases, So it attracts the electron more towards it, and hence the atomic size decreases from left to right. Okay, understand? So this is the end of periodic table. So I hope you can understand by going through the video. Okay.